Have you ever wondered why foods like yogurt, kimchi, or pickles are called good for the gut? Are fermented foods the same as probiotics? And why do some people feel great after eating them while others feel uncomfortable? HealthWise Digest comes with the answers. Fermentation has been used since ancient times as a natural way to preserve food and beverages. Long before refrigeration, people relied on fermentation not just to extend shelf life but also to improve taste and texture. Over time, fermented foods became a regular part of diets across cultures. What is fermentation? Fermentation is a process where bacteria or yeast break down natural sugars in food. During this process, substances like lactic acid or alcohol are formed. These help preserve food and change its flavor. Fermentation can influence food safety, shelf life, and nutritional composition. Many food groups can be fermented, including vegetables, dairy, cereals, legumes, fruits, starchy roots, and even fish or meat. In some populations, fermented foods make up a significant portion of the daily diet. Common fermented foods you may recognize. Many fermented foods are already part of everyday meals around the world. Raw cheese is made by fermenting milk and contains naturally occurring microbes. Yogurt is one of the most commonly consumed fermented foods and is made by fermenting milk. Kefir is a fermented milk drink similar to yogurt and contains a variety of microbes and enzymes. Kimchi is a traditional fermented vegetable dish made with cabbage, garlic, ginger, and spices. Sauerkraut is fermented cabbage and contains fiber and several vitamins and minerals. Pickles, when fermented naturally and not vinegar-based, contain beneficial bacteria. Kombucha is a fermented drink made from tea and sugar. Miso, tempeh, and natto are fermented soy-based foods commonly used in Japanese and Asian cuisines. Fermented foods versus probiotics. There is often confusion between fermented foods and probiotics, but they are not the same. Probiotics are defined strains of live bacteria or yeast that are consumed in specific amounts. Fermented foods, on the other hand, are foods that may contain live microbes, but the type and quantity are not always standardized. In simple terms, fermented foods may contain probiotics, but not all fermented foods function the same way as probiotic supplements. How fermented foods interact with digestion. Fermented foods contain bacteria and enzymes that break down parts of food before we eat them. This process can make certain nutrients easier to absorb. For example, during fermentation, lactose in milk is partially broken down. This is why some people who are sensitive to lactose find fermented dairy like yogurt or kefir easier to tolerate. The gut contains trillions of microorganisms that play a role in digestion. Fermented foods introduce additional microbes into this environment, which may influence digestion and gut balance. Beyond digestion, the gut connection. The gut is closely linked with other systems in the body, including immunity and brain function. The microorganisms in the digestive system are part of what is called the gut microbiome. Research has explored connection between gut bacteria and areas such as inflammation, allergies, mood, and behavior. Fermented foods are often discussed in this context because they produce bacteria into the gut environment. Some studies have explored links between fermented foods and areas such as appetite regulation, sugar cravings, and emotional responses. These areas continue to be researched and responses can vary widely between individuals. What happens when you eat fermented foods regularly? When people begin eating fermented foods more often, they may notice digestive changes as the gut environment adjusts. This can include changes in bloating, bowel habits, or comfort levels. Some individuals experience mild discomfort at first, especially if fermented foods are new to their diet. Starting with small portions and rotating different fermented foods may help the body adapt gradually. Over time, fermented foods are often discussed in relation to microbial diversity in the gut, which is one factor researchers use to study gut health. When fermented foods may not suit everyone. Fermented foods are not universally suitable for all people. Some individuals may experience gas, bloating, stomach discomfort, or loose stool after consuming fermented foods. Others may react due to food sensitivities, lactose intolerance, or histamine sensitivity. And if symptoms such as stomach pain, diarrhea, or skin reactions occur after eating fermented foods, it may be a sign that certain varieties do not agree with your body. Listening to your body and adjusting portions or food choices is important. Things to watch out for. Not all fermented foods are created equal. Many commercially available fermented foods are pasteurized, which removes live microbes. Refrigerated products are more likely to contain live cultures. Another consideration is sodium. Many fermented foods, especially pickled or preserved varieties, can be high in salt. In rare cases, improperly prepared fermented foods may carry harmful microbes. Proper preparation, storage, and moderations are key. Final thought. Fermented foods have a long history and remain part of many traditional diets. They can influence flavor, digestion, and food variety. However, their effects differ from person to person. Understanding what fermentation is, choosing products carefully, and paying attention to how your body responds can help you decide whether fermented foods fit into your routine. Watch more health-related videos on HealthWise Digest. Your health, your story. And follow us for health tips on Facebook at HealthWise Talks.